Welcome back to Elizabeth Elaborates, the March reading recap. Goodreads. Let me tell you a little story because I have one friend on my Goodreads. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll let you have my Goodreads to another person. And I was like, but hold up. Don't judge what I read, okay? I've been honest about what I've read this year, but the things that I've read before the dawn of this channel are questionable. And even some of the things I've read on this channel are questionable. But the first thing I said is don't say I'm weird, because like I will block you on Goodreads because I'm not insecure, but it's too much information about me. I'm a very private person. And I was like, don't say anything about what I read. Just follow me and don't look at it. And the first thing she does, opens the app, scrolls through. You read really weird books. And I was like, did I not just tell you? What did I just say? And I go, are you kidding me? And she was so serious. And coming from the girl who reads like 100 books a year, I was like, okay, this is exactly what I did not want to happen. And I don't even know. Emma is now my friend 7 days ago. So now I just called her out by name, but she never gonna know. She ain't ever gonna know. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. As we know, I go into books extremely blind. I heard really good things about this. I feel like I saw it all over the internet. It was one of those things that it was getting advertised so much, and I was just excited about it because I do love animals. And this book just this is the first book I read in March, the longer I've sat with it, I find myself thinking fondly back about it. But I want to say that I was severely disappointed as I read it, but I kind of look back with pleasant memories, you know? The first thing that I remember not liking about this book, it felt so heavy-handed in the beginning, and like I need a 1000% believable story. If it's not realistic, I'm out. And it was just like, oh, what happened? Her son died. Her husband has colon cancer. She's old. Her back hurts. She's like, can't be doing this job. She's like, woe is me. It was just so much bad stuff all of a sudden that I was like, all right, we're obviously trying to make her seem like so sad and old when I don't know, I think it could have been written better. And then I just have this quote that I was listening to this and I paused on my walk and I laughed out loud. I laughed into the abyss of the neighborhood down this cul-de-sac street with everybody in their front yard. I was like, ha ha, and I paused it. Just listen to this quote. I never knew my father either. Yeah, and somehow you still ended up a zillionaire. What 30-year-old man is gonna go on a mission to find his daddy to get his little parental money back? Like, I have 30-year-old friends, and I was like, if any of you did that, I would judge you so harshly for going, yeah, and you're a gazillionaire, like, to your dad. I can't even comprehend that, like, that the son's character is a joke. And it was just, I don't know. It was kind of aimless in the beginning. It ended good. I liked it, but I gave it a 3. I give it a 3 stars. So, Normal People by Sally Rooney. I've watched most of Normal People. I think I watched half of it, and I did like it a lot. However, they're very young, and it made me feel weird watching that. If you've seen the show, you know. They do it a lot, and it just made me a little uncomfortable, so I stopped watching. But then as I read, I had, a fresh start, some new information, a new storyline. Like, I got to experience at least half the book for the first time. And I felt like they really complemented each other, the book to the show. Sometimes I think there can be a big divide or disappointment one way or the other, but I totally see how the director chose to portray the characters, and I think they did a great job. I think you could either watch the movie or read the book and be fine. I don't think you're like missing out one way or the other. One thing I'll say about the book is I really love how she builds characters, and I felt myself connecting more to the characters in the book than I did with the show, but in my mind I kept kind of referring back to the show characters to build my imagination and just to be like, oh yeah, I remember how they reacted in the movie or the show. So I felt like they were really hand in hand. I like Connell more than Marianne. I don't know who is supposed to be the main character. They're like equally the main character, but I'm sure people are divided if you like Marianne, if you like Connell. This book like scares me slightly because I keep reading it and I'm like, as I was reading it, I was like, I feel like I would be that way. And I kept trying to like use it as a lesson. I'm like, let me remember Marianne when the time comes so I can not be like her. And I don't want to dive into that too much, but it is just a little scary to me. Some of her characteristics, some of her reactions to things, the way she grew up, like I found that very believable. And this is what I said, like I need a story to be realistic. This I can totally see how this happens. I can totally see these characters trains of thought, like the product of who they are today, where they started from in the beginning. Like I love the continuity of that. 100% believable. Absolutely loved it. And while I'm not reading it like, yeah, these are such normal people, like this isn't my daily life, like I'm looking at this like this is kind of crazy to me, I do still see it as an entirely believable story for who these characters are, and I loved it. The Mosquito Bowl, A Game of Life and Death in World War II by Buzz Bissinger. All right. This was an honorable mention at one point, and I said I was going to finish it, and I finally did. Awful book. Awful book. I hate it. Never read this. If I see Buzz's name on something, I am choosing another aisle. I am choosing another genre. This is not for me. Now, that being said, if you are into war history stories, by all means. I am too. But I can find you several stories that are written so much better than this one was. This felt like you could, if I was writing this book, I could hit enter after every sentence, and it's just this fact sheet. Just 10,000 facts about World War II. Boom. Just one by one. There's like no continuity to this story. He knows 15% of this one guy's life, and it's like, if I just add 80,000 fun facts about the war, I could write a book. It's like, no, you can't. You need to have a storyline, sir. Like, there needs to be something here. I don't know. Maybe if you know more about the war, you can like connect the dots a little bit better. But I was like, when is this going to end? And I just persevered. Had to get it done. Terrible. But interesting lore. As I Googled this man, Buzz, he apparently has a shopping addiction. And that's what he's like most famous for, is like going to rehab and getting over his high luxury leather goods fashion addiction. And he's like selling his stuff. So honestly, that little deep dive into his life and the drama about him, I found so much more fascinating than the book itself. There are a few good things about this book. One, he doesn't glorify war. He points out the pointlessness of some battles, the aimlessness of the soldiers, needless death. It's honestly disturbing at times, the way he writes about the war. He gives people their due respect. However, well, no, I'm supposed to be saying good things. So he's not like glorifying war in the way that some people write books and you can tell they love this stuff. Like, they romanticize it. He doesn't really do that. Oh, and he talks a lot about racism in the war, which I think is fantastic. That needs to be included more and more in the war stories, and especially World War II. I think it's easy to think that like the whole world is united on certain issues, and then you don't realize there's divisions. even within America's own army at that time, or I guess Marines, Navy, Army. They kind of collabed, you know. But yeah, so he's not just like glorifying war like this is his part-time hobby is like I'm a war enthusiast. It can be like disturbing sometimes if that bothers you, like how people die. But if I hear gunshot wound one more time, I will scream. Oh, I gave it 1 star, by the way. 1 star for this War Mosquito book. The Guest List by Lusa. Wait. Lusa. Oh my gosh. The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Guys, this is another 1 star. I promise. No, actually, I kind of am a hater. I'm like a very niche person in how I rate my books, but this I will never. This is just not up my alley. I am sure, actually, several people, thousands, hundreds of thousands, would give this 5 stars. It's not for me though. This ain't for me, dog. And even one of my friends was like, I gave that book 4 stars. I loved it. And I was like, what did you love about this book? Because to me, here we go again. I'm not a romantic. I like things to be realistic. I don't really like romance stories in general are just unrealistic to me because I don't really believe in love that much. So I read this and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So that already it loses like so much credibility for me. Like, keep your love to yourself. I don't want to hear what you're doing in the bedroom. I don't want to hear about it, and that's not for me. So, major flaw for me. Read a romance book. Then, apart from that, I really tried to give this like a good chance. But as I reflected, the storyline of this little like mystery situation, like whodunit, like that type of thing, it was just so flat. It was patchy and unexciting. I felt like the story needed to be intertwined more, and I needed to fall in love with the characters a little bit. Then this mystery would have been like intriguing. I'd want to solve it, but I was just like, okay, somebody died. Let's figure it out. Like, it just didn't, I wasn't in it. I was like, all right, so what? Get the body, have a funeral, that's it. So I don't know. If you love the characters more, if you feel like you relate to them or something, you'd probably find this a lot better. But I just thought it was 1 star, so not to be a hater, but yeah. I think I didn't connect with any of the characters. And I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I love when books, you just, right off the bat, you're in the story. Like, what is it called? Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver. I read like half of that, so honorable mention. I'm hoping that that's going to become one of my favorite books. I think it will. I started it. I'm still rereading the part that I've already read at some point in my life. But I'm like, am I asking for too much to have like an interesting start to a book? Is that really unrealistic? Do I have to like go through this boring 100 pages every single time I read a book? Or can authors just like jump in the story? And I read that book, Prodigal Summer, and I'm like, this is what I've asked for. Like, this is setting the standard of getting me into a book like that. Within 5 words, I'm in the book. I'm in love. And then I go to a book like this and I'm like, okay, see, this is what I'm saying. It jumps. It's like, boom, in the mystery immediately. Fantastic. But I just don't love I don't love those back and forth storylines. Like, I don't mind character POV chapters. I don't know. If you've watched Knives Out or The Glass Onion, it's kind of like that, where you follow one character and then you like unwind the mystery a little bit and then you go to the next character. But something just didn't click with that in a book form to me. I would rather, I think, follow someone uncovering the mystery rather than just like see it through so many people's POVs. In that sense, it has a quick start, but then it takes so long to get to a point where I'm actually interested because I've met the characters and I know them that it just like it lost that to me. So that's always my complaint. Slow book, slow start. Remarkably Bright Creatures was a slow start, actually. Normal People, I don't know if I can really say because I had watched the show already, so I was like, already knew what to expect. So maybe I was paying more attention. I was already into it, seeing how it's going to play out later. I think it was a little bit of a slow start. The Mosquito Bowl, obviously, I just did not enjoy. I would say that was a slow start too, but that was just a slow book. And yeah. So that's it. I don't know what else. I'll see you in the next one. I promise I'm going to try to actually do some more YouTube or whatever. This is the worst angle I've ever seen in my life.